Hello, welcome to Come Crafting with Jill and Jez. This is the Facebook Live replay. I'm Jez.
I'm Jill.
And this month we have challenged ourselves to use products that we haven't yet used. So I am using Handmade for You, and I'm also using the In Good Taste Designer Series paper, which I've probably been stroking for a very long time. So now I'm going to use it. I got this set. I liked it because of that, and it reminded me of my mum. Not that my mum ever had one of those, but my mum sewed and taught me to sew. So I thought, and I liked the scissors. What I didn't realise though, gonna have to do some stamp surgery, is it's all in one. So I'm probably gonna cut it. I know,
yeah.
But I wanted the scissors. And I didn't necessarily want them with, so I'm going to surgery that, and it's got the little Stampin' Up
copyright,
but it's also got it singularly as well. So that's always had. I mean, I've got one from a set when I first joined, but so it's quite handy to have a little spare one there. Only really necessary if you're going to sell your cards. So
just in case anyone doesn't know, if you want to sell your cards, you Stampin' Up are fine with that. Any cards made with their products they're fine with, except you must have the copyright symbol and their name on them somewhere.
So the other thing is oh, I can't hear. Oh, I know what it was. No, it's because I'm looking at my iPad and your mouth was moving, but no sound was coming out.
There's a delay, there's a lag.
Yeah. So the other thing I haven't used, which is no surprise to anybody that knows me, is this pack of DSP. It's in the annual catalogue, and you get a double pack, so you get like twice as many sheets. Now I have given half a pack away, so I bought it and thought, oh, I'm never going to use the whole double pack, so I thought they'd be nice, like customer thank you. So I have done that with it, but I do have half a pack myself. And I do like natural wood, so this reminds me of my mum, and the wood reminds me of my dad. So this is like a double whammy project here, thinking of my dad and thinking of my mum, and neither of them are with us anymore, so it's quite nice to join the two. And what I'm going to make is a frame with this, which was one of the reasons for buying it, was thinking these would make nice frames, and then use this to make like a sampler. So I've got all my bits cut up to do a sampler. I haven't done a sampler for a long time. This is one I made whenever this paper was in. So this is quite a few years ago that I made this. So I'm making it again. And so we'll be making the frame out of the DSP and then using this to make the samples. I might not get all of these stamped in this session, but I will show you how to do the frame. So
just got
I'm going to
somebody
move
saying,
all
what if you use other things on your card? I think you still, if you've used any Stampin' Up products, you still need to use the Stampin' Up copyright stamp on them. But it doesn't matter if you've used other things. You can use other things, it's fine.
So I had to go back onto my blog, to the blog with that sampler on it, and I have got a template that I made for doing the scoring and the cutting for making a frame. And this works, my template sort of works for any sort of size that you need to do. I sort of explain how you sort of change your sizes for whatever you're doing, but because I made different sized frames. But for this, using a 12 by 12 bit of paper, we're going to score basically at every ½ inch until we get to 2 inches. So we're going at ½ inch.
Anthony saying, I'm loving this organisation, Jez.
Yeah, it's not very often. I mean, for me being organised, considering that I was still in town on a walk 20 minutes before we went live. So 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1.5 inches and 2 inches, and we can do that on all 4 sides. I did print this off before we went into town because I had a feeling we might be held up. So 1, 1.5 and 2, so 1/2, 1, 1.5 and 2, and it's quite hard on this dark paper to see the score lines. Yeah. 1/2, 1, 1.5, 2, and then lastly 1/2, 1, 1.5 and 2, and so this will give us a 1/2 inch wide frame. If you want your frame to be thicker, then you make your score lines wider, but you've got to do 4 score lines the same size to give you your sort of square on sort of frame. So if you wanted it to be 3/4 of an inch, then you do every 3/4 of an inch. If you wanted it to be an inch, you do every inch. The thicker you make it, the smaller your size.
Yeah, I was going to say you're constrained by the 12 by 12, aren't you?
Yeah, but you can do it in smaller pieces and get smaller. I've done it with 6 by 6 and made little
teeny tiny
3 inch by 3 inch frames as well. So, and I've done it so they take 6 by 4 photographs as well. So and that was one of my ideas. So now we're just going to fold and burnish. That was one of my ideas, that I would make little frames so that I could put little photos in it and still see the lovely DSP, because I do love my DSP.
Yeah.
And I think if you're making things with it, like I've made sort of TNs recently, travelers notebooks and mini albums, that's a way of me actually keeping it, but it having a use, and as well as making crafty storage, so my little pen pots. So it's like legitimate way of keeping my DSP. So yeah, so we just go around, and they do. You can, of course, go and buy a frame.
I was just thinking, if I was doing a sample, I'd just plonk it in an IKEA frame.
Yeah. Have I just done one too many on that one? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, no. I just suddenly thought, oh, did I get score happy there? Yeah. Well, I did. Last week I did a 12 by 12 scrapbook page layout, and it's now in a frame. And yeah, I did buy it from a shop. Mind you, you couldn't make a frame for a 12 by 12 piece of paper. It would. It would. You'd need a much bigger than 12 by 12 sheet of paper. So that would be hard. But you could do a little layout. This, I think this makes, it's 7 inches by 7 inches is what the inside visible bit is. So you could do a 7 by 7 scrapbook layout to put in, which would be quite nice. And I did think about doing like some of my favourite cards that I've got that I don't want to part with, that I could frame them, you know. So there. So now what you got to do is you've got to do a little bit of cutting, and we're only going to cut, say, on the top and the bottom, not on the sides. And it's probably easier if I sort of draw it in. I have got a pencil somewhere, but there it is. So I've got a little drawing here to show you where you're going to draw. So what you need is, on the top and the bottom, we go back to the scoreboard, we want to mark another 1/2 inch. I'm going to do it on this side so we can see. So from the if we go at 2.5 and just make a little mark there with my pencil, and then over here at 9.5, make a little mark, and then do the same on this side. Can you believe that I'm actually doing this from ancient memory? Because I haven't made one literally since I did the video for this last sampler. So so what you do is we're going to, actually we want it to come down all the way. We'll use a ruler. You want to go all the way down to the second score line, which is quite hard to see.
That's the problem with the DSP, isn't it? It becomes really difficult to see the score lines.
Yeah, so you're going to go down to the second score line and then diagonally to where they intersect there.
So it's down an inch.
Yeah, so you're going down an inch. Helps if you go all the way down, Jez. And then that's where they intersect. That's where the inch is going across there. It is, I have got a diagram on the original blog, but I will put another one in for this one. So that's where the 2 inches are. That's where they intersect. So I'm going to draw down there, draw down there, and that's where we're going to cut. Okay, and we're going to cut the whole corner off. So this is just marking. I can see this end better, probably because it's nearer to me.
Yeah,
she says,
and the light,
and then
it's the way the light falls, isn't it, as well?
And because I'm blind as a bat. There we go. Right, I do show you in the video slightly wrong. I should have watched my video back from years ago, that I didn't go from that corner to that corner. I just went across one square and that was left straight. So I thought I'd just put this in to sort of show you. So if you score at the 2.5 down to the second score line, and then on this side it's 9.5 down to the second score line, and then swizzle around 2.5 down to the second score line, 9.5 down to the second score line. That is the correct, and not what I told you. I'm not sure whether or not you can see better. So we have got a grid of squares there. So you're going to cut those squares out, and you're going to cut down that score line that you made, and then instead of going down to there, which is how I misremembered, you're just going down to, so just going across a little square to there. So you've got that shape. So that's how you do it on all the 4 corners. I'll show you again. So, I didn't cut that one down very well. I really should put glasses on. Didn't go up there very well either. So you go down that little score line. You're going to cut across just to the next score line. So diagonally across then to the 3rd score line, and leave that intact. So in the video you'll see that when the frame is finished, the it's not as pretty, the corners, as it should be, but if you do it this way they will be. So I thought it was important to put this in at this point so that you know straight away I did it wrong. And then we do everything as I say in the video. what we're going to do is, now this is where I need to remind myself. So we've got the slanty end, and that's what gives you the mitered corner. So we're going to do the 2 straight ends. We're going to fold them in first. Okay. So we need glue on the outer edge. Okay. You can use whatever glue that you want. I'm going to use Fast Fuse, which is over there. Fast Fuse is the same as Stampin' Seal Plus.
Right, it's not the same.
You need some.
It does the same purpose. It's not the same.
It's not the same. No, sorry, I didn't mean that. Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah.
Same strength and everything. And the Stampin' Seal Plus will fit in this.
Oh right. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So when I run out of my 65 million these that I've got, then I don't have to buy. I can just buy the refill.
Yeah.
I must have about 5 of these, maybe more. So then you're just gonna, I've done the wrong one. What a burp. Doing the straight one, not that one. Got to do the tick at the end. You don't have to with Stampin' Seal Plus, do you?
No. No.
So you're just folding that over to form a square. I did do it. I did have a way of doing it there. So we kind of fold it up and then fold it so the 2 go down like so. That will have it in the right place. So it will then
pop up.
Stand up. It will then pop up like so. Okay. So just run your, you can use tape, could use Tombow. I just wanted it to stick quick.
Could you
fold
tear
up
and
that,
tape, couldn't you? Double-sided tape.
Yeah, tear and tape will work. So fold up that first ½ inch and then fold up the whole inch, and then that gets it in the right place. See? And then when this comes over, you should, if you cut it right, they will miter there on the corner. I might need to just readjust my cut in there. Just got to snip in a little bit more there, because that's not quite right. It'll do.
That looks nice.
It's not quite right, but it'll do. So this one is already over. It's a bit trickier, this one. You can't do that way quite so well. So you have to try and sort of fold it up. And a little glue dot on the corners afterwards.
Yeah.
Is what's required.
Where you need about 6 pairs of hands.
Yeah. So that's it there. And then it will, because it's paper, you can manipulate it, and that will go under there. I've cut the corners a little bit wrong, but hey ho, it's live.
Yeah. It was always meant to be like that. You were doing it slightly differently to the other one.
I meant to do it slightly wrong, yeah.
I did a video the other night and I made so many mistakes. You know, things were just going wrong with it. The Tombow wouldn't work, and I measured something where I can't remember all the things that went wrong. And someone left a comment and said, "I like it when you make mistakes, Jill. It makes you more relatable." So I thought,
yeah,
I'm having that.
We yeah. So that's it. So then we just need a little bit of a glue dot in the corner. to hold them in place. I'm not going to have time to do my sampler, so that'll be another video. So just a glue dot there on each corner of the frame. So this straight corner edge, just put it there, and then they will stick under.
Oh yeah, that's neat.
And glue in place. Yeah. Ish. Just don't look too closely.
Yeah.
And that is how you do the frame. What time are we at?
10 to 3, or nearly 5 to 3. Seven
Right,
minutes.
So I haven't got
to
time.
Be precisely. So you could have another.
So I
5
haven't got
minutes.
time to do my sampler.
You could do some of it.
I could stamp one, couldn't I?
Could show us the configuration.
Yes, that's what I thought, and I'll give you the sizes. But I will. Obviously, this is going to go on YouTube, and there'll be a blog post to go with it. So that is the frame, and then I cut all the sample bit. Oh, there they are. So the way I did it was I got 3 rectangles and 3 squares. So I did it so that they went like that. You could I could change it up and have 3 squares in the middle. But that was the way I did it on the original sampler that I chose. So they are, each of them are 2 1/4 deep. The squares are obviously 2 1/4 by 2 1/4, and the rectangles are 4 1/2 by 2 1/4. If you find my original blog post, as I discovered when I looked at it to cut these, I've actually written a mistake. I've written the rectangles at 4 1/2 by 4 1/2.
Oh.
But my brain was working enough to realise that that was incorrect. So that's how they looked.
Yeah, just move it over a little so we can see it. Yeah, that's it.
And what I would do on this one is I would actually put something in there. Yeah. This one was all right because the other side of this DSP was that was fresh fig, wasn't it? I don't think it was blackberry bliss. Can't remember. And so it's got a nice dark background, whereas this one's it's a bit rubbish. So I would put a colour behind it. I'd probably get early espresso or something behind that. So my thoughts were that I would do a sort of a crafting one. I'm hoping that will fit on it. Not quite, but I don't think that matters. And what was there? There was Craft Queen, wasn't there? I quite liked that idea of Craft Queen, and I quite like the idea of a pair of scissors. But I would probably introduce a few other things into it as well. I mean, what I could do actually is, because that's not quite, I could stamp it across the 2, couldn't I?
Good. Or you could have them going the other way. You could do your rectangles going the other way. You could have them going
do you know,
horizontally.
You're genius, Jill. You're genius. Never thought of that. There we go. So yeah, I can have that.
Yeah.
With maybe the scissors.
That's the joy of samplers, is you can just piece together whatever shapes and whatever directions you want, can't you? Just as long as they all fit the basic outline.
Yeah. So let's get this inked, because
oh, Annette's just joined us. Hi, Annette.
Hi. So that I'm going to leave that intact for now, but I am going to do some surgery. Sorry if sorry for people who might think
you can hear the sharp intake of breath, and you tell people that you can't think about.
I cut a stamp the other day for it was for my, I'm trying to decide on what side. I think I'm going to do early espresso. I cut a stamp up the other day for a prototype, and as I was cutting it up, it was like I could hear people going, no! But I haven't got a problem with cutting.
They're tools. They're to be used in whatever way we want.
Yeah, tools, not jewels.
Yeah. And actually, especially the red rubber ones are really easy to piece back together again if you want them together. You know, you can just see where you've cut any bits off. That's quite a nice stamp.
Actually, and
that looks better stamped than it does not stamped. If you see what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, ignore that bit.
Bit of rocking.
It's because this is soft.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. But obviously, I'll re-stamp that. But what I would prefer is to have the leaves a different colour.
Yeah.
And maybe the scissors in something like a basic grey or something.
You have to do that.
But that was. Yeah. Oh yeah, you could do it, Marcus, couldn't you? Or you could do what I want to do, and that is just cut it up.
Yeah.
So sticking with that, and what I want to do is put those leaves around, so it has to be cut up.
Yeah.
To make the best use of what we've got there. Where's me? I'm looking for me stamp and scrub. I can't find it. Anyway, I haven't got more time anyway. So that is the beginnings of where I'm going.
You've just made me think about doing a sampler. I haven't made a sampler for ages. I think I might have a think about doing a sampler. I pin loads of samples of samplers to my Pinterest feed.
Yeah.
I haven't really made.
Well, I just think like you get like little mini works of art in each.
Yeah.
In each one.
Yeah.
So there we go. That's the start, and I'll have a part 2. Or I might, when we upload this to YouTube, I might put the end of this on it.
Yeah.
Obviously, you won't see that muck there.
Useful
but
to know the frame though. Useful to know how to make the frame.
Yes. I'll tidy it up. Don't like the way it looks. I might work out how to cover those corners up if you make that mistake.
Yeah. So it's always the way on when you're live, you know. So it's just
But also I haven't made it for ages.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've made it in years. I mean, that one's perfect.
Yeah. I would never have been brave enough to do that live. I would have had to have a practice beforehand. So I just thought I'd pop on and show you sort of at the end there, at the go through. I've put a glue dot on the corner there. I've just put a little bit of Tombow actually to give it a little bit of extra. And you can see that corner now goes in much better. So it's always a good idea to follow the instructions properly. So that is how it should look like. So those 4 corners all work properly. Okay, so that's how we should have done it.
Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed that, including my mistakes. And I will have a part 2 when I finish all the bits of the sampler as well. So do look out for that. And now if you pop over to my YouTube channel, you can watch the live crafting that I did at the same time as Jez, using something new, which was the Vine Design stamp set for me, making a lovely thinking of you card. So do pop over to my YouTube channel to see that. And we'll see you all again next month. Yeah, see you next month. Bye. Bye.